Good morning, guys. This is Richard back at you. Standing out in front of the shop, getting ready for a beautiful Wednesday morning. Got the parking lot cleaned out a little bit where we can park. But Teresa's doing really good at scheduling. Really good at scheduling. So let's go inside. This is our waiting room here. Got some stuff hanging on the wall, some pictures and stuff here. A little bit ready for, oh, yep, we're ready for Halloween here too. Got a pretty cool waiting room. Some stuff here. We got, oh, there's Annie. Oh, Annie, what happened to you? You're looking a little skinny. Nah, that's not Annie. But guys, here's my, let me back up here a little bit. Don't want to make it too long of a video, but a lot of certificates and stuff we have on the wall from many years of work. So, got our Dirty Bird shirts here, stuff. So, pretty neat. You be quiet. Don't talk. We got Miss Teresa in here working hard. Already hard at it this morning, huh, Teresa?
Yeah, hard at it.
Uh-oh. Slammed it too hard. Good morning. But Teresa, you're working hard again, huh?
Ready?
Got a lot of paperwork going on. Got the guys out here working. Got Cody cleaning up some parts, cleaning up an ATS beat pan. Doing a service on this one here. We just got this one built over here. What we do, anytime we do a Dodge diesel, we'll drive them, break them in, drop the pan, do a service on them, check the bands and everything before we even give them back to the customer. That way we know there's no trash or anything like that. Dodges have really big cooling system, and even though we got a really nice cleaning machine, it still takes, sometimes you just miss stuff. So once we do a drive around, warm it up, it'll be in the pan, do a filter and fluid change, and it's good to go. We got Trent over here putting the pan on the right way with the speed handle. There you go. We're taking it off right now, ain't you, Trent? Doing our service on it, what we're doing.
Thing we're doing with that dog.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Doing a service on it. So we got Miss Teresa. You ready for the camera?
I'm ready.
You ready? Well, let's do a swap here. There you go. How you doing, guys?
What's up?
We got Richard back at you. So hey, we got something pretty neat going on this morning. We got a 480E. A gentleman brought to me that's going in a twin turbo Caprice. Really nice car. We've been working on this training for a while. We finally got all the parts gathered up. Mainly gathering cores up and stuff like that, because when he brought it, his unit, his case was busted. Took it apart. I mean, everything in this unit was melted. I got it over here in a box. I'm telling you, melted. So there wasn't nothing left. But all I could find was a four-wheel drive core. You can see here it has a four-wheel drive tail housing or adapter there. I got a core on the floor over here that it's got a two-wheel drive tail housing. So we got to put a two-wheel drive tail housing, and then we're going to switch it over to a two-wheel drive output shaft. So, but when we do that, since this is a four-wheel drive, we have an input speed sensor and we have an output speed sensor, but the output speed sensor on a four-wheel drive is a dummy. They put the output speed sensor on the transfer case, so once we did that, they did away with the ring gear reluctor on the Planetary that the sensor counts. So basically this goes in the case, comes up on this reluctor here, and as this turn it counts it. It's magnetic. There's one in here too. But on the four-wheel drives, they put the sensor on the transfer case, so they just had a dummy one here. So that's how that goes. But you do have one here. You can still, if you look in this hole here, Teresa, you can see the counter down in there. I might be able to make a turn.
Yep.
I can't turn
Nope.
it. So, but anyway, guys, anytime you switch over to from a four-wheel drive to a two-wheel drive, you got to be really careful, because on a two-wheel drive, the tail housing bushing right here is physically pressurized with oil, and it's pressurized through this hole right here. That's the only way this bushing is going to get oil. So in a four-wheel drive application, that passage has a freeze plug in it, and it's been plugged. I thought I had all these bolts out but one, but I'm still got a straggler here. So in the overhaul kit, it'll come with a little cut plug with a little tiny hole in the end of it, and it seals that circuit to that bushing right there. That way that bushing is pressurized. Your 400 tranny isn't that way. 460 ain't that way. All of them get oiled by splash oil. Spray oil. They got a little tiny zert back there that just sprays it. It's not pressurized like this one is. Come on, Bolt. Sorry about that, guys. Uh-oh. You know, a core is a core. Hang on to you. It's gonna be a nasty one. Hopefully everything's good on the inside, because that's mainly what we're looking for. But if you get down in here, there's a little freeze plug right in here. Right in here. We have to pull this out, and we put another cut plug in there that's got a little weep hole, and it's got a seal right here. When we bolt the tail housing onto it, it seals it right here. If you can see, this is incensed outward to set down in here to touch that. So, pretty neat. Oops, I forgot a socket real quick, too, so I have to get over here. I have been building all kinds of units, let me tell you guys. Now this is a rear loop style transmission. It's got the cooler line connector in the back here. Has a special little tube on it. It's got a seal here that seals it to the case, and then it'll have a clip here and another seal down here that clips it to the quick disconnect cooler line. Same way here. Now this one is just a shorty. If you put a shorty there, then your tranny's going to burn up because it doesn't reach the center support like this one does. This one will not go there. This one will go there, but they go like that. Pretty simple, guys. Okay. Now also, I wanted to show you here. Now this is a later version, LS style. It's got your LS upper bolts for your bell housing around, where your normal Chevrolet does not. Kind of let me sit this here. Kind of look at the cases. You can see here it's just capped off for your small block or big block Chevy, where your LS style physically has your extra bolt here. So that is the difference. Set this back over here. Excuse me. Okay, with output speed sensors are out. We have our lockup O-ring here. Oops, pretty hard. There, so. Now you gotta love cores, guys. Kind of like Christmas, you never know what's in the package. So we got a little dirt in there. I want to thank my good friend Dallas over at Williams Transmissions over in Amarillo, down the street from me. Really good guy. If I can help him, he can help me. Believe me, we help each other all the time. I've known him 45 years or something like that. He worked with me at another shop over here called High Plains for about 8 years before he went on his own and opened his own business, and he's been in business ever since. So doing really good. Now you can see your lube tube right here. This is the tube that goes back and lubricates this rear bushing and lubricates your tail housing bushing in the case. This little tube right here, that's all that does. Tail housing bushing, or excuse me, case bushing, tail housing bushing. That's all that does. The earlier designs had a tube that went from here all the way to the front. There was a hole in the valve body right here. About the size, smaller than about the size of a pencil. Went all the way from here to here, but here they rob it from here. So. Nasty little thing. We have a late model. This is going to be all late model stuff. Late model pressure control solenoid. The early models have a different style connector. It looks just like your 4L60E early. So. Now we're going to be putting all billet shafts in this. Transgo hooked us up, or excuse me, not Transgo. Transmission Specialties. Hooked us up with all billet 300M shafts. Oh, Chris over there, really good guy. Been taking care of us for years. We use a lot of different companies, so it's easy to pop off the wrong names. So we use Sonax, we use Transgo, we use all those guys, because without them, we would be nothing, let me tell you. They're always out to make things better. This core's been sitting around a while. It has that really old car smell. Like it just, I guess stale water maybe, because it's got water in it. I guess that's what I'm smelling. Old car smell. Actually, we went to a car show this weekend and...
That would be mothball.
Mothball, yeah.
And this is not mothball. Far from.
Yeah, I don't remember what... I was looking at an old car this weekend at a car show and I leaned inside and it had that old, factory old interior and it just had that really cool smell to it. You know, that car you want to get in and sit there and just go, man, that smells good. See what our valve body plate looks here. I noticed we got some check bolts still here. Got to not beat into the plate. I thought maybe they're beat into the plate, stuck there. Of course, being water in the tranny, the valve body gaskets are going to be stuck really good to the plate. Now we do have our check bolts here. I'll stick these two back in here so you can see where they went. You can see we have two here, one here, one here. We have one here, one here, one here. We have one here. There is not one there. Looks like you could put one there real easy, even on the valve body plate. If you look at it really close, look here. It's got a ball and a hole right beside it, and it looks like a ball goes there. You can put one there, it looks really pretty. It looks just like that one. See, we could put a ball there, put a ball there. Just because it looks like it doesn't mean it takes it. But a 4L80E does not take a ball right there. Pretty simple. They got this little funny filter right here. If you can get that out of there. It does come in your overhaul kit. There it is. You always want to put one back in there.
What happens if you don't?
I've never tried it.
Okay.
I've never tried it.
Good answer.
Just being honest. You could leave it out and try it. Call me and let me know. And we have our accumulator pistons here. If you notice you have a tall and a short, just when you pull it apart, just remember, tall to the right, short to the left. My book shows you. You can get on the internet and find it too. We have 8mm bolts here. Now these are different lengths compared to your other ones. So the ones on the accumulator do take a different bolt. Just count them, 1, 2, 6 of them. Get in here and pop our accumulators out real quick. We don't really ever see any wear on these pistons here. Very seldom ever. I mean, you can replace them with aluminum ones if you want. But we don't physically see any issues with these at all. Scotch-Brite this up really nice in here, put some new seals on there, you'd be good to go. If I get that off there. There you go. Now our Transgo shift kit we're putting in here is going to help this tranny survive on from having too much pressure. Has blow-off circuits that we build into it here. We drill some holes here, modify it. That way, if it builds too much pressure, it can just blow off. Now these trannies have a massive pump in them. They're capable of having like 600 pounds pressure. So GM did really good on pumps when they built this tranny. But if you have a pump problem or a circuit problem like electronics or something like that, this pump can physically break pistons. I mean, it can blow seals. It can do all kinds of stuff. And we're going to get our reverse servo off here that applies our reverse band. Now we could have blew air right here and applied the band, but it could have got Teresa messy, and it's too early to send her home. We need her up here. Of course, you have your third accumulator piston here. You got rubber sealing rings here and here. So your early designs will have Teflon. You have a seal here. Look for any type of wobbling here. Grab this pin and try to shake it. If it shakes, replace it. Look for this clip to be broke. The clip doesn't come in the overhaul kit. You just have to find another one out of a core or something hanging around. And we have our engine brake servo here. They make a couple different designs of these too, early and late, so I want to check them out. Change your rings and stuff like that. So now we can apply our overdrive clutch to this hollow bolt right here, and we can apply our intermediate clutch, our third gear clutch, and we can blow through our loop circuit through here to the center support. I'll try not to soak it. Let's see. You want to look down in here, Teresa? You can see that overdrive clutch moving right there. If you notice, the piston is down in there. Oops. Hopefully y'all can see that. And then we have our clutches here. And we have a clutch here. And then we have our lube circuit. You just got to be careful because you can blow that stuff all over you.
Yeah, and that's nasty.
It's dirty. Smells pretty good. Now we do have a hollow bolt, of course. Now our shift kit's going to come with a steel bolt that takes an Allen wrench and a little gold washer. And then we have our center support bolt here. Hollow bolt too. Don't ever put a 400 one in here. They're just too short. 400 one's about half the length of that. I've seen them put the long ones in the 400 ones, but we don't ever do that either.
You have the air conditioner on in here?
Uh-huh. Is it too cold in here for you?
Yeah.
Getting a little chilly?
Yeah.
Sorry. Fall is in the air, guys. Let me tell you, I think it's been like 40 something degrees at night here in Amarillo in the morning, so that's pretty good. Coming quick. You can see your seals on your bolts here. Anyway, your pump's always got pressure ports here, going to seal it to the case, and then you have your cooler line fitting over here, so you know pressure goes through there. So your kit will come with new seals, but always reseal them with some silicone too. Just have that good security right there. You know it's not ever going to leak. 'Cause I hate leaks. Hate leaks. Now you can see this pump bolt here has a little shield on it. Right here. Covers this hole right here. I'm not physically sure what it does. I guess it just keeps the fluid from blowing over onto the clutch on the overdrive drum. Just a little type of shield. I've never looked at the name of it or anything.
I bet somebody's going to tell you what that's for.
I bet they can, and I hope they do. Now we want to look here, make sure there's no wear. So you got pressure in your suction side here, so I'll look really good at that. Also, you want to look and make sure that you have a late model pump, which you can see this little line across this land here, and that's how you can identify it. I have a brand new one sitting over, a remanufactured one over there in the box just in case this was bad. You can see this right here. I'm going to Scotch-Brite this a little bit. I can't feel anything with my gloves. I just have to check it better with get my gloves off. So. Same way with the pump body. You want to look at it really good. Tell you, these gears are getting hard to come by. Look on both sides all the way around. Looks good. Put your new pump bushing. Now you can see here, I'll talk about crankshaft wear and motors and stuff like that. You can see how this bushing here looks brand new on the top from here to here. Looks like it's never been touched. But if you come over here, it's down to the brass. That tells you that crankshaft is pushing down on that converter, sitting there pushing down on that bushing right there. So when I put a new bushing in there, it's going to do the exact same thing. There's no way to stop it. So I can't lift this crankshaft up. I can't do anything like that. So I'm not sure did I talk about that filter? Now this is a late model style. It's got the bumps on the filter. The early style, a shallow pan has no bumps. Do not put a shallow pan on a late model filter. You'll plug this hole up and burn the tranny up. I know, and it's not by experience, it's by somebody else's experience. So, just let me tell you, it can be done. We have our pump stator washer here. This is selective to set your clearances. Now you can come in here and look here how your overdrive clutch, the backing plate locks into the case right here. This support right here, the only thing supporting this in the case is that little aluminum hollow bolt. I threw it over here. So in other words, you bolt it down, that's the only thing that holds it. This clutch comes in here on this support, and that locks in here right there, and it just keeps this from spinning, and that way it doesn't twist this bolt off. It's the only thing that keeps that from happening. Now this is our overdrive clutch here. They make different versions of this plate right here and different ways of doing it. Some of them, they didn't even do it. So then they started seeing issues and they thought, well, hey, we better do something here. And then of course this snap ring got to be put in here. Like that. Then we have our overdrive clutches. If you've never put seals in one of these before, I could do a video just on this, taking this overdrive housing apart, putting this back together, and putting these seals in. Because if you've never done it before, it can be a bear.
Well, you know that they'd love that.
Oh, because once that fell out of there, you got two pieces. You have a lip seal here, you have a lip seal there. Put them back together. It can be done. I mean, I'll have to show you. I'll have to do a video sometime on it, just on that, to give you guys an idea how easy it is to put that together. Trent will stand back there an hour trying to put that back together. Sometimes he gets so frustrated. Of course, we have our engine braking clutch here, and then we have our overdrive planetary assembly. I'll take this snap ring off here. Now we have this is our input shaft. We have our forward clutch sealing rings here. You can tell they've already kind of nicked them right there when they put it together. If these wear out or anything like that, you can lose your forward clutch. But what's really bad is when this bushing right here wears. When this bushing wears, it lets the shaft rub right down in here. It wears these two lands out. They're only about this wide, just enough for these two sealing rings to set on, like that. I blow air in this hole, and it'll apply the forward clutch. Let's see if I can do it really quick. Hear that? But that's how that happens. But when that bushing wears right here, it lets this shaft rub, this drum come down and rub right here and wipes the drum out. And we have a brand new drum right here because 90% of them do it. And we just keep 20 of these in stock because it normally knocks it out right through here.
That's a pretty drum. That's
a pretty drum. So we just have to get this one apart and look at it a little bit better. So we have our overdrive planetary assembly here. Want to check it really good for it, same way, any wobbling, any pin discoloring. Pretty hard to clean this. There's a lot of metal that gets stuck down in here, and when you clean it, it falls down in these holes right here, and that's your lube hole that lubricates this gear. So as you're cleaning it, you're forcing metal in here, and these gears get really rough. It takes about 20 minutes to clean this Planet right, to get all the metal out of here and to make sure you got it out of all the gears. So now this engine brake clutch is tiny, little 3 clutch. Got holes in the steels to get the oil off the clutch so it can apply, and to lube. So it does 2 different things. And we have this little tiny overdrive Sprag here. Let me tell you, it looks like a little fragile thing. Drop it on the floor, break it in a million pieces, but it'll push a 40,000 pound trailer down the road in overdrive. Now these drums here are the same way. 90% of the time we have to replace them. This little sun gear right here is so tiny, we just get load, not so much on this side, but on this side. Not so much on the coast, but on the load side. So, get this forward drum apart real quick. Now we have a factory forward hub. I'm going to hit it, see if it's a good one. Hear that nice ring? This is a good one. Now we can put this in a high horsepower race car, stuff like that, and it won't strip this forward spline out. But in his case, we're going even further. I'm going to grab this with a rag this time. We're going to be going with a Sonax billet hub and roller bearing forward hubs. Really nice piece. This will fit a 400 and a 4L80E. Of course, we have our forward clutches. They look really good shape. Looks like we could reuse that one again. Think, Teresa?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it looks a little thin. But on your 4L80E's got a wave in your forward drum. Now this is wavy, but it's also beveled now, so it is no good. It's bent like this, and it still has some wave to it. So this will have to be trashed. Now, being that if he's putting a 3000 stall or something higher than that, we can actually leave the wave out and put an extra steel in there and set our clearances. But being, I think he's going to make 1,000, something like that. It's a twin turbo Caprice. Really, I haven't seen the car actually. It's a 1989 Caprice. So, but we'll probably put a wave in there. If we don't, it'll probably hit too hard. So I know he wants to drive this. It is going to be a show car. I mean, this guy's talking about twin turbos, a blower, nitrous. I mean, he's talking all kinds of stuff. But anyway, you can get down in here and look again at these little lands right here where those 2 rings run. He looks really good still. There might be something right here. I don't have my glasses on yet to see, but probably get a new forward drum. Now we do have all bonded pistons for this unit. We ordered a complete kit from Transtar that comes with the pistons, the steels, everything for this unit. Of course, all the plastic washers we're going to be getting rid of. Whew, look at this high reverse clutch, Teresa. I think they got their mileage out of this thing. Now there's going to be a wave in this here too in your high gear clutch, and they did that to soften reverse. It doesn't really affect third gear much, but it does soften reverse because your reverse band comes on in your third gear clutch, and these trannies had harsh engagements, so they did that. And you can see all the steels are toast, the clutches are toast. Back plate, get rid of it too. It's probably warped, bowed inward. So everything in this drum is toast. Snap ring's probably good. Put your new bonded piston in there, clean it up. Let's see if we got a good 34 element Sprag Assembly. Where'd that go? You want to look here for these tabs getting wore off because this thing goes back and forth. You can see it's starting to wear here. Have to go find us a different one. Of course, we have our 34 element Sprag Assembly. Keeps me from having to buy a drum. But you want to look at this inner race and make sure it's not been chattering on it or anything like that. If it looks good, Scotch-Brite it up. And of course you want to look here, definitely, on your inner race. Make sure that looks really good. Scotch-Brite it up. Scotch-Brite up in here where your sealing rings run on your stator, or your center support, excuse me. And then we have our engine brake band. Now in the later models, they did put a lot bigger band in there. Normally, the early design had a 400 band in it, but the early design, but the later design, they did go to the wide one. Now we're going to get our intermediate clutches out of here. Now the same way with this snap ring, when you put it back in, you have a big gap right here to here. You don't want to put your snap ring in like that. You want to turn it and put your fingers over in this area. That way you have a full snap ring from here to here, like that. Keeps it from breaking the tips off of your snap ring. Now on your intermediate clutch here, there's going to be 4. Of course, you can see the intermediate steels, they're all burned up, clutches are burned up. And you do have a wave for second gear. Now we will put the wave back in there because I can make this tranny hit hard enough in second gear that you won't want it to shift. Especially if you leave the wave out. So, new steels, clutches, be good as go. And you can see here even where how they put this snap ring. See how they put that snap ring right here in this groove? That snap ring can break off right there. And this piece right here is going to fall down in the tranny. That opening needs to be over here. You see how they did that? Mm-hmm. All right, so. Come on. Okay. Of course, we have our beveled snap ring here. Flat on this side, round on this side. Flat goes in, snap ring opening away from that gap. In like that. And you're going to pull your center support out. Get this. This tranny's got so much dirt and metal in it, guys, it doesn't matter how much dirt I get on it. But anyway, we have our center support here. We have our 4 rings here. We have our loop circuit seal here for your cooler line that comes to the side of the case that hooks into. Does take a early and a late model center support bushing. We have our, I'm not sure what they call this. It's going to be like a, I don't remember what they call this. I've never named it. You want to name it, Teresa?
I was thinking intermediate. It's in between the input and the output, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you have an intermediate here too, see?
Okay.
So, locks into the forward drum and stuff. So, the forward hub. So, we'll call this the Teresa shaft.
The middle shaft.
The middle shaft. How's that sound?
Yeah. I have to get the book out on that one.
Yes. Now, what we have here too is the Sprag Assembly, your lower Sprag Assembly. If you notice, it has little legs on it. Some of them have them legs, some of them don't. If it has the legs, there's no ring down in here. If it doesn't have the legs, it has a metal ring set down in there that the Sprag sets on. So you don't want to set your Sprag, a non-leg Sprag, in this drum because it'll fall down too far. It'll set on the bottom down here. So. Of course, go through all your bearing races. Look on where the bearing runs on both sides here. Look at your bearings, make sure there's no pitting. Then on your sun gear here, we replace almost 90% of these too on every one of them we do. for pitting and stuff like that. Now on this one here, since this is a rear loop style, you do have to have a sun gear with 4 grooves in it. Okay, they do make a sun gear with 2 grooves, like this, 4 groove. And why they got 4 grooves is because your lube oil physically comes down these grooves right here and lubricates your planets through the outside of the shafts. See, this shaft is hot or solid. On your early design, the oil comes through the center of the shafts, same as your 400 tranny. Where your late 480E, they made the shaft solid, and then they started bringing the fluid down the outsides of the shaft and going down through the bearings. That's why this bushings are like this. Oil, your lube oil, goes down these grooves right here and lubricates the tranny going forward. If you put solid early bushings in here, you just cut off your lube circuit right there. You're going to melt everything forward and back. You're going to tear it all up. So you want to make sure you put the right things there for sure. Now if you notice here, we don't have our reluctor wheel on our Planet. It's missing. Well, we have to put a Planet back in there, and it has one, so we can have an output speed sensor. Pretty simple. Come on. And we have our output shafts that we're going to be changing. And check all your bearing races again. Now, like I said, we're going to be putting a billet shaft in here. And your Planetary. Now this will go in a normal 400 where you don't have to have a speed sensor. So you can always put it in something else. We have our snap ring that sets in the case for our support. Sets on right here. Down in the case. And then we have our reverse band. It's getting thin too. So this tranny, I don't know how many miles it's got on, or if it's original, but it has definitely got some age to it. Definitely wore out. It's going to take a lot to get this, a lot of hours to get this thing back. Especially what we're going to be doing to this, we are going to be putting all cool stuff in this thing. So it's going to be a really nice tranny. So when we get done, it's going to be going in a, let me start over. It's going to be going in an 89 Chevy Caprice, twin turbo car, so it's going to make a lot of power. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit really quick what we're going to be putting in this. Now we got the TranStar complete overhaul kit. All their clutches, their bonded pistons, we got all their steels, everything that come with it, okay? Now we're going to upgrade the high gear clutches to the Allison clutches there. Do that. We got our new sun gear. We have our new reverse band. We have our new high pressure rings. We have our transmission specialty 300M input shaft. Really, really nice piece. Oops, got my. We have, let me scoot over this real quick. Now, we also have 2 300M intermediate shafts. Now, these are one's for 4L80E early, one's for 4L80 late, and I'll show you the difference. Now, the early design, it's a hollow shaft. The oil goes down the middle of the shaft and lubricates the tranny front and rear, where the late version is plugged. Same shaft, they just plug it. And now the oil, lubrication oil goes down to the bushings and the bearings and through these grooves and stuff like that. That's how it lubes. Makes it a lot stronger shaft when they're solid. That's how they used to do it, but since they got the 300M out now, you couldn't break this if you wanted to. So, but that's how they do it. But this one here, the hollow one, will go into a 400 tranny or the early 4L80E. So pretty simple there. Pressure control solenoid. We have our 34 element Sprag intermediate. We have our Sonax roller bearing hub. I showed you that earlier in the video. Put that in there. We have of course our complete wiring harness, our Transgo shift kit, speed sensors. We got all of our bushings. Thanks to Raymond at TranStar. If that guy Wasn't for him, I don't know what we'd do. Let me tell you, Teresa, he's a really good guy over there. But definitely, Teresa, I appreciate you recording. Definitely, you do such a great job, and everybody's bragging on you that you're doing a really good job too. So we want to thank you. But hey, guys, don't forget to subscribe. We got tons more work to go. Y'all have a great day.